Hello everyone. I'd like to take this time to talk to you about ADCs, after-death communication. I've learned about ADCs when I was reading Bill and Judy Guggenheim's book, Hello from Heaven, where they interviewed 3,000 people for their book of people that have had after-death communication. And there were 300 stories in the book, but they interviewed 3,000 people from around the world. And with the estimate of their research and study, they realized that 60 to 100 million people across the globe are receiving these after-death communications. And I have to tell you that after-death communications is something personal to you. It's the signs, the symbols, the synchronistic events from the other side. They are not facilitated by mediums. You don't need a medium for this. After-death communications when your loved ones send you a sign or a symbol or put you in the right place at the right time. And I realize that when people pass away, we're so sad here, we're so bereaved that we miss those subtle signs that they're showing you. So this is what I'd like to talk to you about today, what the signs are, tell you a few stories, and how you can have your own ADC, or at least ask for an ADC to your loved one. But remember, you don't need a medium for this, okay? And you have to realize when we pass away, or when someone you love passes away, what happens is there's no more physical body, there's no more voice box, so a new form of communication has to be developed, and that is the language of spirit, which is after-death communications. All right, so there are many ways that they try to get a hold of you, and I could ask many of you right now, how many of you who are watching this obviously have had a dream of a loved one who has passed away? Some of you are probably raising your hand, yes? Now, not every dream you have of them is going to be an ADC, an after-death communication, and Judy and Bill Guggenheim are the ones that coined that word, so I have to give them the credit for that. But every dream you have of them is not going to be an after-death communication. When you have a real ADC, a real dream of your loved one, they appear happy, younger, vibrant, and it's usually a very fast dream and sometimes colorful. I know some years ago, it took a year for my mom to give me an after-death communication, a dream. I didn't demand it, it just happened. And in the dream, I was in Maine, had an event, a mediumship event I was teaching, and I went to bed that night, and in the dream, there was my mother, looking young and healthy, not the way she looked before she passed when she was ill. She was young, she was healthy. And in the dream, I looked at her and I went, "Ma?" And she said, "Johnny?" And then we hugged. And that was so special to me because I actually felt my mother's arms around me. I felt the love. And I woke up with a tear in my eye. That was an ADC. That was a true after-death communication. If you're dreaming of someone who has passed away and there's a negative something you're viewing negative, or there's they're crying or you're crying, that's usually not an ADC. That is a form of bereavement that you're still going through, yeah? So ADCs, they're personal. And you know an ADC is for you is because you feel it right in your soul. And it sometimes brings a tear to your eye. And there are many, many ways. I'm going to tell you right now the many ways that they come through, what you can do about it, and tell you a few stories about these many different ways that I'm about to list for you. Okay? So, you ready? All right. So just relax. Let me do this for you, everyone. And let's talk about ADCs, after-death communications. Before I move on to the other ADCs, the other signs, let me go back to dreams for a second, okay? Why do they come through your dreams? Because it's easier for them. Your mental chatter, your left analytical side is taking a break, and the right side of the brain is being active, so they can slip into your dreams that way, so it's easier for them, yeah? Okay, but let's discuss the rest of them, the rest of the ways. Many people, they will feel their loved one around them. When people pass away, how many times have you or someone else said, "God, I feel like they're right here with me"? True? Because they probably are. They probably are. But we're so good at explaining it all away. You're thinking, is that my imagination? Is it just me wishing for them? Try not to explain it away, okay? Just accept it. If you're feeling your loved one's presence there, if you feel a warmth, if you feel someone standing behind you, don't get freaked out. It's your loved one saying, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And what they really want, what they're really trying to do is, can they hear me? Can they see me? If you feel a loved one standing beside you, or if you feel that warmth, just say, "I know it's you, hi." A lot of people too, they say, "Well, John, what do they want? What's the message?" The message is, guys, I'm alive. I'm okay. Don't worry. Stop grieving. I'm right here beside you and I'll never leave you. Yeah? So that's another way that they come through. You actually physically feel the energy of a loved one standing beside you. Okay? And another way. How many of you, this happens around the world, okay, but I'm going to speak for Americans right now. How many of you find shiny pennies and shiny dimes? You're raising your hand. This is the stuff that I talk about in my lectures all the time. And I'm not talking, some people say, but John, we find pennies all the time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the pennies you find on the bed you just made, the sink you just cleaned, the tub you just got out of, suddenly on the floor. And they're always shiny pennies, okay? Sometimes dimes. Unfortunately, it's never dollars, okay? So I call these pennies from heaven, or in my field, we call them pennies from heaven. But the next time you find a shiny penny out of the blue, okay, that wasn't there before, look at the date on the penny or the dime, because most likely it has, that date is going to be significant. Maybe it's the person's date of their birth. Maybe it is the year that they passed. Honor them. And I know many people, they have jars of all the pennies and dimes that they collected over the years. Okay? So don't be surprised. And once again, I'm going to go back to this again. Why do they do these signs? Because it's very subtle, guys. Some people often would say to me, John, why doesn't my mother show up in front of me? And I often joke, are you kidding me? What, can you imagine if your mother who's passed away shows up in front of you? What would happen? Some people would be, oh, I would love that. I'd be like, no, your hair would turn white because you'd be so scared, unexpected. A lot of people, we always go back to Hollywood and to television. You think that your loved one's going to come through a 3D riff like a sci-fi movie and step out and say, hi, it's me. No, guys, very subtle, very, very subtle. Another great way, you lose someone who has passed over, yeah? Electrical items, lights blinking, radios going on and off. And even now, what's happening is, because we're in a world of technology, many people, even you maybe who are watching this video, how many times you have someone in your phone, say it's an iPhone. You have a phone, their name is in it, their name or maybe a certain tone for them, and it's still in you haven't deleted their contact address in your phone. They pass away, and then one day your phone rings and you look down at the phone and there's the person. Oh my God. This is happening more and more. I may be in an audience, if I have an audience of 300 people, I may see 3 or 4 hands get raised from someone who has gotten a call from the other side. And I'll say, who's gotten a call from the other side on their phone? 3 or 4 hands will go up. And I always address them and I say, did you pick up the phone? They said, absolutely. And I said, well, was it them on the other end? Did they say hello? Usually it's static. It's static. So electrical items, why is electricity and phones easy for them? Why is technology? If you think about it, everyone, think about this. They're made up of energy, yeah? Okay? Except that they're vibrating so high you can't see them anymore, or the spirit world. We are electrical beings here too. It's easy for them to manipulate electrical items. So if you lost your dad and you're sitting there and the TV just keeps going off, all right? Yes, let's stay grounded, everybody. There could be something with the electrics or the cable. But if it happens once in a while, or lights suddenly turn on and you know you didn't do it, don't blame it on the cat or switching it or something else here. That's them trying to get your attention once again. And always just say, Dad, if that's you, do it again. Trust me, they hear you, they feel you, they see you. So if the electrical items are happening, ask them to do it again. It's like remember I said there's a new form of communication? This is one of them, yes? Here's another one. You could be, nature is really big with them too. Birds, rainbows, flowers, really, really big. And when I say nature, I mean everything in nature, okay? Let's talk flowers, everyone. Let's talk flowers. If your mom's favorite flower was a red rose, and you have a red rose bush in your yard, I'm here in New England right now, so there's snow everywhere, yeah? All the rose bushes are gone, all the flowers have died back until spring, and then they'll beautifully come up again. But oftentimes I will hear people say that one single rose bloomed out of the snow. That's pretty cool. That's a hello. That is a definite hello in after-death communication. But once again, we're so good at talking ourselves out of it. Your mom loved roses. There's the rose blooming through the snow. Someone may say to you, or you may say to yourself, well, I guess it was a warm day. You mean to tell me that it was so warm that it created a bud on the rose and that it bloomed and went right through the snow? No, it's a beautiful sign. Remember earlier I said, it's personal to you. It's personal to you. So nature's big, okay? If your mom or dad or child love cardinals and a cardinal lands right on your window when you're thinking of them, it's them, okay? It really, really is, yeah? And also, speaking of birds and feathers, feathers are another way. A lot of people find feathers. Now, I'm a very grounded person. I'm a very grounded medium. But if you're walking the beach and you keep finding seagull feathers, well, it's the beach where seagulls are. So, of course, you're going to find them there, okay? So don't say, oh, my God, it's them. You'll know if it's yours, okay? I have another friend. Every time she thinks of her dad, she'll find a perfect white feather on her front doorstep, in her tub, on her bed, and she accepts it. She knows that's a sign from her dad. And she'll just like, hey, Dad, thank you. She doesn't try to talk herself out of it, okay? So watch for nature, really, really big. And I'd like to go back to flowers again, too, are really big. Here's a story. I was doing an event once. There were, I don't know, about 1,000 people in the audience, and I was talking about ADCs, just like I'm talking to you. And a woman raised her hand. She said, John, can I tell you about an experience that I had? I said, sure, darling, what is it? She said, she lived in New England. On the anniversary of her mom's passing in December, okay, we got snow always in December, yeah? Well, the day of her birthday, there was a storm, there was a snowstorm, and I said, okay, continue. And she said, John, my mom grew prize roses. She would win the blue ribbons every single year for her roses, yes? So on the anniversary of her passing, in the winter in New England, this woman's house filled with the aroma of roses. It just filled her house. And I was so excited when I heard this. I actually went to the side of the stage and I said to her, oh my God, what did you think that was, darling? Her response, I thought it was the Glade Solid from a neighbor. And I had to laugh, not at her, but at her answer. I said, you mean to tell me that you think that a Glade Solid or air freshener from a neighbor went through the storm, went through your storm windows and filled your entire house? She says, I didn't know what else to think. This is before she knew about ADCs. That is a form of after-death communication, okay? When you have scents, when you have aromas. Maybe your grandfather, your dad smoked a pipe. If your house is filling with the pipe smoke and no one else is smoking in the house, smoking a pipe or a cigar, that's them. Yes? Mothers are really big for doing this. Yes? Is all of a sudden you lost your mom. Then one day you're smelling your mom's cologne, that favorite cologne. And I feel bad if you have kids because most mothers will blame the daughter or the kid. Who's spraying the last of my mother's perfume? Don't blame the kid, guys, okay? If your mother's favorite cologne was a Jean Naté or another cologne, and all of a sudden you're smelling it, another after-death communication. If you think about it, a scent is very, very subtle. They don't want to scare you, okay? So honor that and honor your mother by saying, hi, Ma, I know it's you, yeah? I'm just looking down here because there's so many. Watch for bugs, okay? And I know this is part of nature. Ladybugs are big. Dragonflies are big. Yeah. How many times have you thinking of someone that that's passed away and they love dragonflies and you have a dragonfly right on your shoulder? Acknowledge it. It doesn't mean that that's your loved one, okay? But they can influence the dragonfly to say hello to you. There's many, many bugs. Butterflies are big, especially the loss of kids. Yeah? If all of a sudden you're thinking of your child and you're seeing butterflies everywhere, or one lands on you, take that sign, guys. If a butterfly shows out of the blue, you're not in a butterfly garden, they're signs. These are all forms of after-death communication, yes? How many of you have a joker in the family? Here's another way. I told you there's many, many ways. I'm going to try to explain as many as I can because I want you to acknowledge them and honor them also. How many of you have someone who has passed away that was a joker? They were a joker in the family. Yeah, some of you will raise your hand. I've got a couple too, all right? Doesn't this happen to us all the time, okay? Say you wear glasses like I do and you can't find them. And you know that you put them down at that table before you came upstairs, yeah? And then you go down there, they're gone. Or the keys are gone, or your phone is gone. But you know you look there. You go around, you keep tapping yourself. Where are they? Where are they? And how many times people say, well, where'd you leave them last? Yeah, that gets to me too also. You're looking crazy. You go back to where you looked before. There's your phone, or there's your keys, or there's your eyeglasses. Now, you know you looked there early and you didn't see them, But once again, we talk ourselves out of it by saying what? I must have missed it. So if you have a joker in the family, they will try taking things and misplacing them or just playing with you. Because if they were a joker in life, same thing. Once again, they are trying to get your attention. Yeah? Another big way is just like dreams. You're driving in the car. You're thinking of someone who has passed away. You turn on the radio. At that exact moment, there's their favorite song. There's their favorite song. And what do? We say this. How weird. How strange. Oh my God. No, guys. It's pretty cool. Remember I said they can manipulate technology? How they work it out with the disc jockey at the station is really beyond me, and I don't question that. But if you're thinking of a loved one, and their song suddenly plays out of the blue on your radio, or someone else is talking about that song, take that as a sign. Watch for the song, okay? Or if even, here's another tip. Say you're hearing a song in your head, okay, out of the blue. If you're hearing a song out of the blue, not the one you just heard on the radio, but you're hearing this song and you can't get it out of your head, I recommend this. What's the title of the song? What's the words to the song? You can look it up on the internet. Someone's trying to get your attention from the other side, whether it's a loved one, your own soul, your higher self. So that's just another side tip, yes? Okay? Another big event that happens too, synchronistic events, where they will put you at the right place at the right time. And what do I mean by that? Okay? You're thinking of a loved one. You're in a supermarket. All of a sudden, they keep repeating the name of someone in their life. Say your dad's name is David, okay? Or your husband's name is David. You're shopping, you're thinking of him, and the people behind you keep talking about David. David doesn't have to be your David, but what are the chances that you're thinking of your husband David, and then all of a sudden there is the person talking about, mentioning that name to you, or talking behind you? Another thing too, synchronistic event. Somebody passes away. You're driving. Say your brother's name is Joe. You're thinking of Joe, you're driving, you're feeling a little sad. All of a sudden, you're thinking of Joe, there it is. A truck, you look up, Joe's Plumbing. And once again, we have a tendency to say, oh my God, that's so weird. No, guys, it's a synchronistic event, putting you at the right place at the right time. Yeah? They know what they're doing on the other side, guys, and they will try to get your attention any way that they can to let you know we're okay. Another big sign, numbers. How many of you keep seeing the same number over and over again? Yeah? 1111, 555, 4141, 333. Many people wake up at 3:30 in the morning. That is another ADC, an after-death communication. I used to see 419, 914, 149, any derivative of those three numbers all the time. Same number. Wasn't thinking about anything. I would look up, there's the license plate. Or there's a document I'm reading, 419. So I used to think, it must be the lottery number. I must have to play this number. Well, that didn't work, okay? But I noticed, I always say, when you notice the same number, what was your thought just before you saw that number? Now with me, when it comes to 419, I noticed that every time I was to do a show or an event or a reading, I would somehow see that number appear, whether it was on a license plate or a 419, the clock. Now I'm not superstitious. I didn't go looking for that number before I did the reading or went on stage, but I know that's my guide's, it's my guide's way of saying, we're with you. Because I had to notice, what was I doing just before? I was just about to demonstrate my mediumship. So watch for those numbers. Many times you lose someone and they can actually impose their impression on somebody else. Sounds weird, right? What do I mean by that? You're driving and you look across, or you're the passenger in the car, okay? And you look across the highway at 2 cars over. You swear to God it's your dad, or you swear to God it looks just like your mother. You're in a supermarket parking lot. Somebody gets out of the car and it looks just like your mother. But then when you get closer to them, it doesn't. So I really believe that they have the energy, they have the ability to superimpose themselves on somebody else. Yeah? It's another subtle way. It can be a little scary when that happens, because you're like, oh my God, there's my mother. but it's magic the way that they can do things, everyone, yeah? And there's many other ways that they come through, between the cents, the pennies, the dimes, the dreams, electrical items. In my book, Bridging Two Realms, and thank you for purchasing it, read the story about the sand dollar and the little boy and the mother who are walking the beach. That one sand dollar changed that kid's life. Just briefly, the story is about a kid who's just about to start high school for the very first time in 9th grade. That's a big event for any kid because they're going from middle school to high school. So it's a big, big step. And this little kid, not little kid, he's 14, wanted to know, or wanted his dad. His dad passed away, and he just wished his dad would be there to support him during that time. Well, read the story about the sand dollar and how that one sand dollar changed the mother, the gentleman's wife who passed away, and that kid, and how he got that inspiration to go on. Yeah? Okay? But remember, the signs are going to be subtle. They're very gentle. And the way to ask for them, which is so important in this video, how do you ask for them, John? When my mom came through, I didn't demand that she come through with a certain sign. She and I had a deal. If another meeting was going to work, give me a message from the stage, or if I have someone sitting one-on-one, or if they're sitting with me one-on-one, or I'm sitting with them, there's a certain clues or certain signs that I asked my mother to send me. It hasn't happened yet, okay? But she has come through other mediums and demonstrations, yeah? So when you do this, ask them, Mom, Dad, child, send me a sign that I will recognize. And try to be specific. Don't demand, like, Mom, I want a rose on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. If your mom loved roses, ask your mom, because I use roses a lot in this video. Ask your mom, Mom, send me a rose unexpectedly. Send it in a different way. Now, someone may give you a rose out of the blue. Just after you said that, you may see the name Rose appear suddenly. See, we're not looking for it. Just be watchful, guys, with everything, yeah? Okay? So the best way, just ask. Try to ask them for a specific sign, something that means, something that's very special to you or very special to them, yeah? Okay? So ask yourself right now, someone who's passed away, what did they love doing? What did they love watching? What did they love collecting? Yeah? Just start that way. And another thing, okay? Let me just take you through this. I want you to, as you're sitting here, as you're watching this video, okay? All right, just close your eyes for a second. Go on. Just close your eyes. All right. Now, I want you to choose someone who has passed over. Yeah? Do that. Now, as you're doing that, I'll picture my mom. Yeah? Now, see their face. Imagine, envision the most happiest face, okay, where their eyes are gleaming, where, they say that the eyes are windows to the soul. Bright eyes, smiling, healthy, happy. See that. Go ahead. Okay. Now that love you have for that person, bring it into your heart. Feel it as if they're really there. Feel that love. Feel it. Just because they're gone doesn't mean the love stops. Now, as you're feeling that love, send it to them. And what do I mean by sending it to them? Just put the thought out as if that stream of love on an energetic level, and you could look at it as a white light going to them, send them that love. Love is the bridge that bridges the two realms together. Send them that love. Say hello to them. Ask them by name or Mom, Dad. Send me a sign. Send me a sign. You know what to send me. Send me something that I know it's you. Send it to me unexpectedly, whenever you can. Feeling that love. All right, open your eyes. You may get a sign immediately, or it may take a couple of days, everyone, yeah? But let me tell you something also that happens. They will not give you a sign. They take their cues from you, in other words. They usually don't give you a sign if they know it's going to make you emotional or sad. And how do I know this? Because I've seen this. It happened in my family, and it also happened to two women in the audience. One woman raised her hand, and she said to me, "John, how come my sister gets all these signs and I don't?" And I said, "Okay, darling." I said, "Out of the two of you, which one is the more emotional one?" And she says, "I am," the one who asked me the questions. I said, "They take their cues from you. If they know it's going to upset you, they're going to go to somebody else in the family. If they don't go to somebody else in the family, trust me, they're going to go to somebody else to give you that message." Yeah? There was one time you had two people who were missing someone. They were so emotional. And I'm sure that the people on the other side were trying to send them signs, but we're not noticing them, guys, because we're so bereaved. That just when they were going through their bereavement, a mailman says to them, "Oh my God, I dreamt of your mother last night, and she said hello to you too." Okay, so think about it. They're not going to come to you if you're so emotional. When you feel you're emotionally ready, spiritually ready, then ask for the signs. Yeah? Please send them, Mom, Dad. I'm here. I'm ready. I love you. Remember, there's a new form of communication when we pass over. Yeah? And this is the way that they do it, after-death communication. I have to thank Judy and Bill Guggenheim for coming up with their research and to coin that phrase. Yeah, beautiful book, Hello from Heaven. And I have to give them the credit because they taught me all about after-death communications. And now with my career of 20 years, I'm hearing these stories over and over again. Okay? Watch for the signs, everyone. They are there. And remember, be thankful for them. Hold them close to you. Honor them. Put them in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit. Cherish them because I really, really believe, I so do, that they're really ADCs, calling cards from heaven. Thank you.